What's up? What's up? Week 3, episode 3 of the Classmates podcast. I want to welcome y'all in. I am your host, A Rod Go Hard, and this is.
KB, how you doing? Shout out to Wendy. We love you, girl.
Get better soon. Man, first of all, I just want to take some time just to reflect, man. How you doing? How you doing today? How you doing? How was your
Doing
week?
pretty good. Can't complain. Busy as always,
Mm-hmm.
but just trying to keep everything pinned down, everything on a calendar, on a timer, on an alarm, whatever you got to do.
Welcome to the age of 40. I say I got one more week, man. I'll be 40 next week. So happy about it, man. But as far as myself, like you said, just staying busy. Trying to make sure I ain't out here getting in trouble and nothing like that. Staying as productive as I can, and just keeping this thing rocking and rolling, man. But we just gonna go ahead and get into it. I know y'all are going to be locked in
I
to this
need y'all to run the
episode.
comments up on this one.
Please run the comments up. Run the comments up. We are talking about accountability in relationships. We hoping that it actually can be one episode, but we don't know how that's gonna go. So we just go rock and roll the way we rock and roll, man. So you sent me some stuff, but I like real talk. I want you to start us off this week, KB. How you feel about accountability in relationships? Like, what's one of the major things that you think about?
So let me talk about the accountability itself. I feel like it starts with what you learn from young before you even ever get into a relationship. When you look at women, um, growing up, women are allowed to feel, they're allowed to hurt, and they're nurtured more. Whereas a male in that same situation, a male and a female could fall down, scrape half of their knee off, and they will tell that boy, you better not cry.
True.
Get up, clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Tighten up. Whereas the girl will get compassion, her feelings are heard, you are allowed that. I believe that because men didn't get the luxury of that growing up, they take more fuller accountability in life than women do. Because we for a way was made for something other than to be accountable, whether it was our even fault or not.
Right.
Y'all almost always had to take accountability whether it was your fault or not. So while that caused men to have lower emotional intelligence because you weren't allowed to feel, we have greater emotional intelligence, but we have lower accountability.
Got you.
So that's how I feel about the whole thing as far as men and women and why accountability looks like it do in 2025.
I get that, and I mean, I feel the same way as far as like with the emotional piece. I got a son and I got daughters. You know what I'm saying? So I know that I've handled the situation different when it comes to them. But I can say that my upbringing might have been a little bit different because I was actually allowed to feel. I was actually allowed to talk about emotions and
That's a
everything like
beautiful thing.
that.
So
Like
many males did not get that, and it is detrimental to
most definitely.
relationships today.
And I feel like that comes from me actually being raised in a household that was full of women too.
Okay.
It was my mom, my grandma, my aunts. I mean, the only man that's like the only male figure that I had inside of my household was my grandfather. But even with that being said, he was a man of very, very few words. Like he didn't speak about a whole lot of things. Like you said, he didn't vocalize his emotion. But like I was around so many women that like that was all that I saw. So it was never like a bad thing when I was like I don't feel like doing this, or like it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel okay. Like my mom was one of those people that she always said like if it if you need to talk about it, talk about it. Like I ain't gonna say it's gonna be a good conversation. It's gonna be like one of those uh um a great conversation. Like I can talk to you about everything, but like still actually come to me and talk to me.
Mhm.
So I can say that I got like my upbringing was a little bit different as far as that. I didn't have like my grandpa. I was the baby of the family too. So like it was a little bit different with that too. So
It's always different when you the baby.
right, like I was the baby of the bunch. So I was able to vocalize a little bit, but I do understand where you're coming from because I have a whole lot of male friends who actually go through that, and I can tell it from our conversation now. They're like, "Damn, man, we're like shit's kind of tough, man. Shit kind of rough." But I get it. I get where you're coming from when you say that, because men are actually, we're taught to be hard. We're taught to, not show emotion. Like we're
And also figure it out.
right, right, right,
Like
right, right.
more help is often offered to women,
Hmm.
less help is often offered to men. So
Hmm.
men have greater problem solving skills. When you have greater problem solving skills, you have less trouble taking accountability
True
than
indeed.
than I would say the average woman. Not saying all men take accountability or that all women don't,
Hmm.
but just the reason why the conversation is what it is from what I see. I think it's because we're cultured different. It's because we don't even I don't think men and women have the same concept
Of what
of what it
accountability.
is to be
Right,
accountable.
right.
I really don't. Um, my career path and what I've done for so many years, um, when you got a classroom full of children, you don't have any other choice but to be accountable. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hmm.
So I feel like I look at things from a broad perspective, but a lot of women literally may not, or they may feel that they are being accountable, but it's not to the level that the man thinks that, you know what I'm saying, that it should be.
I'll say this as far as like accountability, like we spoke on this subject one time before, as far as like, do not get your accountability principles from what the fuck you see on social media, what you see on TV, what you see inside of these entertainment spaces, because these people lack accountability.
Very
And
much
they will
so.
teach, and they will tell you, like, they'll give you this crazy narrative as far as like, this right here is what it's supposed to be, and the whole time their household is fucked up.
So
They
let's
can't
get
keep
into
nobody.
that because you really just made my point real quick.
Hmm.
The podcast sphere is a joke when it comes to relationships. That's why I was so excited about this because I believe in talking through why it's like that
Hmm.
and possible solutions, not just men ain't men no more and they need to do this. Well, see, women ain't women no more. That ain't gonna solve it
No,
though.
it's
You
not.
know what I'm saying? So when we looking at as far as relationships are concerned, men kind of control the podcast sphere. You got people like Kendra G, but that's basically just a dating show. You have women here or there, but some of the main ones are male led. And I think this is by design. If you look at the panel, these Andrew Tates and people like that, they line up the panel with the biggest airheads they can find, the biggest bimbos, the youngest people straight off a college campus that don't really know life yet. They love to get a lineup of women like that can't really go toe to toe with them and that are heavily materialistic. If you get the generation of people that is heavily materialistic, everything they're going to say is going to be wrong. Every single thing they say is going to be wrong. So look at Derek Jackson. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He did all
Somewhat.
this relationship stuff for all these years, only for it to come out. He was cheating on his wife. He treated her like crap. He had this side chick. He had all this other stuff going on. Meanwhile, you on here telling men how they ain't doing, and your woman is like this because you ain't doing this, sir. Please.
Right.
You had that clown, and he done came back out now trying to still make content. I don't even understand how people still follow him. You got the No Fugazi podcast with this dude. I can't even think of his name. His face in my mind annoys me. You can tell his beard is his entire personality. Um. Anyway, it's the single moms are for recreational use, only for the internet to find out that he was dating a single mom with two kids, a white lady with two previous kids. But you telling all these men that they're simps, they're horrible, they must don't know their worth. But you can raise master children. You see what I'm saying? But why
Exactly.
that wasn't recreational? But you're telling all these men out here that may have found a good thing in a single mom that you are this, you must can't get nobody else. As if all the women with no children are worth a damn, because a lot of them ain't.
Really. And I, to speak to that, a lot of times we got to realize, like, sometimes you just really, it's not a good thing, or like the preferred thing for you to actually date outside of what your situation is. It's like a woman who doesn't have kids, she's probably not going to be like that submissive to a person who has children in their life, or not really going to be listening to like what you have going on because
They
of
don't
your kids. They
understand.
don't
Like
exactly.
when I look at if I was to approach dating in 2025, I don't think I could date a man that don't got no kids because you don't know where I'm coming from.
Right.
You don't know how real it is. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, it's we can want that. Like my kids are older. Like for me, I feel like it'll be a little bit different if I went out here and tried to find a woman who didn't have kids because my daughter is six. I got a 16-year-old daughter, a 16-year-old son, and a 21-year-old daughter. They're not looking for a mom. They're not
Right.
looking for a stepmother, anything like that. They're just trying to make sure whoever I'm with is respect inside the relationship. Like they don't get any disrespect from the person that I'm dealing with. So it could be like for me, I feel like it could be a situation where I wouldn't feel bad about going out here finding somebody who didn't have a kid. But just like you said, it'll still be one of those situations where like they might not understand it. Like okay, I can't come and cheat with you right now because my daughter got something going on. Or like I know you want me to spend all this time with you, but like my son got a basketball game.
At the last minute, you might have to up and do something when you
Exactly.
got kids. You know what I'm
And it's like
saying?
and women who don't have any obligation, don't have any ties to anything like that, that's gonna be a problem because like it's always gonna be like that's fucked up and like you always like you no, I'm not putting them before you. They are before
Well,
you.
yeah.
You came into this situation knowing like you should have came into this situation knowing that I'm gonna be trying my best to be the best father that I can be, and you just have to live with that. So, I mean, it is what it is when it comes to that. But like, I just want to speak on. You sent me this clip. You sent me this clip, and man, this
For the
girl.
purpose of getting stuff started. I want to be
And she
starting
got some
some.
shit started. Oh my god, man. I don't know her real name, but her podcast or her podcast title is Pretty Witty and Wise. And what she said was it always comes to a situation where a woman has to be the pursuer of a man. Or she has to move a guy in. She has to pay for his education. She has to instantly show her worth and her value in order for her to be seen as being a sufficient partner or anything like or somebody who can actually be taken serious in a relationship. What I want to say that is, KB, and we've had this conversation before. Listen, if you always finding somebody who you have to move in, if you're always finding somebody who you have to put through school, if you always have to pursue someone, listen, Shawty, you got a fucking tight. You got it tight. Because I'm pretty sure that the man who had all those things that you talking about, he done pursued you before. But because it's something that's new in your face and you're not used to that, and it's some type of control, some level of control that you have with that person that you can move in, that person that you got to put through school, and that you got
Because
to
if you can move them in, guess what? You can move them out.
exactly. It's just that simple. So it's something that you out here looking for when you're trying to find a man. If you continuously finding the same things or the same traits in every person that you're dealing with.
So I think what she said, part of what she said, I hear her, part of what she said was flawed. I agree with you that, and it may not even be what her conscious mind is looking for. Her subconscious mind is attracting
Mm-hmm.
that over and over again, somehow, some way, for some reason. I do understand a disproportionate amount of men need your car to drive, need your place to live, I understand that too, but you can always turn them down. Once you realize that that's how they living, you know what I'm saying? We all done ran into it, but you can't sit up here and say that that's every man
Right.
that you met. And like you said, if it is, you're attracting something, even if
Yes.
on a subconscious level. Now, one of the things she did agree with that I do agree with that she said is we are expected to be far too performative. You need to be this size. You need to be this shape. You need to do this. You need to be able to cook. You need to be able to clean. You need to be able to sew. You need to be able to do this. You need to be beautiful, and you need to have good sex, and you need to pay the other half of the bills. I think that is far too performative. If you look at a biblical example, everybody loved to talk about submission and women in the Bible, and all women love to talk about Boaz. Okay, but if you look at their setup, Ruth won't doing nothing but going about her business. She was taking care of her mother-in-law. She was doing the purpose that God put on her heart. She was doing it. She didn't need no lashes. She didn't need no BBL. She didn't need to
Mhm.
tell rush out in front of all the other girls in the field so she could be seen and
Mhm.
get 1,000 likes. She literally was going about the business that was her business to do, and she got found. I feel like this society expects women to be entirely too performative and to
Mhm.
show up with all this. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? When at the end of the day, depending on what age you are when you meet, you will grow together. You know
Truly
what I'm
did.
saying? You
Yeah.
will grow together. If we're wrong for expecting the man to already be a homeowner when we meet them, that woman might can't cook good when you met her. Y'all got to grow together. You know
That's
what
it.
I'm saying? And
That's
we're
it.
not leaving room for growth kind of on either side, but uh it's far too performative. And a lot of it has nothing to do with your substance as a person.
Right.
That kind of brings me to a small point of know thyself. We be getting into too many situations, having
Ooh,
kids and
wee.
serious relationships. We don't know who we are. We don't know why God put us here. If we knew that, um, we could align a lot better. The old folks used to say, "It's somebody for everybody."
Yes, indeed.
And I think that kind of just makes us feel better. I don't even know if I believe that at this age because look at nature. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't nothing but mammals. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Look at nature. Mufasa had a pride, but look at Scar. Some of you niggas gonna have to be Scar.
That's it.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get it. I get it. I
And
get it.
look at also nature.
I get it.
Some women have the fruit of the womb. They got 8, 9, 10 kids. Some people crying, fasting, and begging in vitro for one. It's the luck of the nature draw. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Some stuff is just like that. And we have to understand that culturally, we were geared a certain way. But historically, we were not always this way.
Exactly.
There's a book called How to Make a Negro Christian, and it so neatly outlines all of the things that still exist today that was not who we were. Poly life was who we were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Even biblically, if you we ain't even got to only talk about slavery, but it was so shunned and denigrated and forced. They forced a European family structure on us that wasn't even sustainable. Because at any given time, a day or night, your daughter, wife, whoever might be gone in the master's quarters. It won't shit you can do about it.
And
At any given time of year, your husband, brother, uncle might get sold up the river for the right price, and there was nothing you can do about it. So we got forced into a European American family model that we couldn't even work. And we are still in 2025 still trying to work it.
because when you say that right there, it just goes to the point where like it's just human nature and just a natural it's natural science. It's a fact of life. It's more women on this planet than there is men.
So why we keep trying to perfect women for men that ain't even gonna be there for them?
And my thing is, it's like if we got all these women out here talking about they're doing this and they're doing that, like I got this going on, I got that going on, I'm sleep, I got I have some of the best sex that there is in the it's one guy that's actually doing all that with about 5 or 6 of them who's having that conversation because it's just it can't be done. It's not enough men out here in the world to make sure that every single woman is satisfied. So it's one man that's taking care of more than one woman.
So let me hit you with this and get your opinion.
Okay.
Some of you may be familiar with 19 Keys. He had it wasn't on his channel because when I tried to go back and find it and send it to you, I couldn't find it.
Hmm.
So he was featured on somebody else's podcast. His thing was this: YNs don't even like women anymore.
Mm.
You women are going to have to explore poly, and this is not from any religion, any religious aspect. There simply aren't enough. If you want to be taken care of beyond financially but also emotionally, it's just not enough of those type of guys to go around. You kind of just said that.
Yeah.
I feel like this. I don't knock anybody's relationship format, but everybody needs to be upfront in the beginning.
That's it.
What they're looking for
That's
and
it.
what they will allow.
That
You know what
is
I'm
it.
saying?
Yes.
And cheating is a huge issue in relationships. What do you think what would happen if people that, because let's be real,
Uh-huh.
half of these people aren't Christians anyway, nor are they trying to abide by the Christian setup of marriage. So if you don't care about that anyway, why are you caring so much about one man, one woman?
That's it.
Because
Hey.
that is the reason. Religious reasons is the reason why I care, to be honest.
Hmm. And I get that, I've never been married before. Like I've been engaged. I was engaged for 3.5 years. I can say that inside of that relationship, yes, I did cheat. It was one time. She found out about it. It was one of those situations like, look, what we gonna do? Like, are we gonna
My
like,
bad.
yeah, are we gonna, like you? Because at the end of the day, like you said, honesty is always the best policy. I cannot ask you to stick around and be with me if these right here are the things that you've been through before, and I made an action that you've actually been through before, and I put you in a place that you can't deal with. But if you can take this situation, bottle it up, and just look at it, the totality of our relationship, as far as like I've been here for you, I take care of you. When I got $10, five of it is yours.
There you go.
So if you can look at that piece and we can move past this, let's do that. But if you want to hold on to this piece right here, we might as well go ahead and split it up and just let it go, because you're not because what I'm not gonna do is to keep on listening and hearing like, well, you cheated on me, well, you cheated on me, well, you cheated on me, well, you cheated on me. No, we're not doing that, because we can nip it in the bud right now. One thing that I want to talk about is when you said, I said, you're the person who is accountable for your own well-being. Your partner is just your helpmeet. And so many times we want to put in with it, when we say helpmeet, we use MEAT, and that's not what it is. It's MEET. Your helpmeet. So if you got somebody who's willing to meet you at halfway, or meet you when you're someone in those 60-40 times, meet you in those 70-30 times.
Yes,
But
however you gotta bust it
because
down.
it's never, because we sit here and we try to put 50-50 into everything. It's gonna be times where it can't even be that,
Mhm.
where it can't be 100-100, where it can't be 50-50. Like I'm gonna have to lean on you sometimes to actually, for us to actually be able to get some things done. But don't devalue me in those times where I'm only the 30.
Mm, facts.
That's where people actually get into that situation where they want to hold on to some shit that they don't really need to be in. Because if you can't value me at 30, I know you're gonna try to take advantage of me when I'm the 70.
Right.
I know it. If I ain't shit when I'm 30%, I know when I get to the 70% and you the 30, you gonna try to manipulate the fuck out of me. And everything that I got, you gonna take that shit. Because I didn't have anything. You gonna make me feel like, okay, well, you was 30% for
This
so
is
long.
payback.
Yeah, you were 30% for so long. You kept me right here for so long. And now that you got it, you mean to tell me that I gotta ask you for some shit? Yeah, you do. You do. Because we're not about to do that. And that's what I feel like that happens a lot in our relationships, as far as like we deal with stuff that we really don't need to be dealing with, because we don't want to hold on to the accountability for ourselves. It's like we got our person is who our person is the person that we actually leaning on. Our person is the person that we're trying to make better. Our person is the person that we want to give everything to, and not take care of ourselves. You can't do that and expect for your relationship to be anywhere near you want it to be.
And not just with accountability, happiness. We
Yes,
put the constraints of our happiness on each other when it's got to be in here.
it
You
has
know what
to.
I'm
Right.
saying? If you can't on a by yourself day make yourself laugh, you know what I'm saying? Then don't put that on nobody else. And you can't even do it. You know what I'm saying? I believe that I feel like that works 100% the same way, just like it does happiness. You
Hmm.
gotta bring some if you want to get some.
That's it.
What do you think about the idea that maybe relationships just aren't for everybody, and some people are forcing themselves in puzzle pieces that don't fit?
I see it all the time.
Mm,
I see it all the time, KB, where it's like, I can't be without a man. I got to have me a woman. I got to have me a chick. I
mm,
got to be in a relationship. I got too much love I got too much love. I got too much of myself that I want to give, but I got to be able to give it to one person.
mm,
Mm, okay. But now when you run into that person who wants to be honest with you and tells you like, look, this ain't what I'm looking for.
right.
I don't want a relationship. Like I like you a lot. I want to do like we can go and chill. We can do this, but like as far as me being tied to you and actually where I'm accountable for like how you're feeling and how your day is going and everything like that. I don't want to be accountable for that. It's like, well, you ain't shit, and you and I don't know. Fuck that. You and I'm gonna let everybody in the world know that you just a dog and you all this and all that. I'm being honest with you though.
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to take that. And so many times, and I got to speak. I got to speak on my men. I got to speak to the men on this situation right here. So many times you will find a woman who will tell you that's all the things that she's looking for, and you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that. But in turn, okay, you see it as an opportunity. Like this woman right here, I know I can get this woman to fall in love, and anything I want, I can get it from her. But you got to be able to accept everything that comes with that, because not on that motherfucker gonna be crazy. She gonna always be in the feelings because you know you playing with them. She gonna always have something to say about you because you're not doing the things that she told you she wanted in the get-go, and you ain't giving her any of that. So I got to put some onus on some of the men. Like, y'all got to tighten up when it comes to that shit. Y'all can't be leading these women on, trying to making them feel like, and making them think like this right here is what it's going to be, because she's going to expect that. And if she doesn't get that, she is warranted. And I'm not saying she's warranted for. She should never put her hands on you.
Facts.
She should never try to do anything to you physically. She should never try to harm you.
Property.
She should never try to do anything to your property. But any way that she feels about you personally, she's entitled to that. And she can tell anybody in the world that you are that type of person because you gave her that person.
Facts.
So
I heard that. Loud and clear. Look, loud and clear. But and on the other hand, let's talk about the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
You can't outman a man.
Woo!
Let me say that one more time. Woo! Let me bring this closer. I ain't got my eye appointment till next week, so I'm gonna bring this closer, make sure I can remember everything I want to say. So women have taken the "if you can't beat them, join them" literally with male behavior. The prey wants to be the predator, which is understandable, but I think we should just hide better instead of wanting to be the hunter.
What?
Instead of trying to hunt, work on your camo instead of trying to outshoot the men.
Say that.
Working on yourself is always my personal default anyway, because I am her. Okay, but seriously, the overarching theme of treating women like objects and having a bunch of them have seeped so far into women's mind that we don't even want to be the one no more. We just want a roster that we like. The disrespect and infidelity shown to women throughout the years with no remorse has produced a thought of, if we do this, if we get them before they get us, then we can survive. We can get a few dollars for our pain. This was a poor outlook, even as the men doing this was low vibrational and exhibited low self-control. So we shouldn't have copied that game. Why use this game to beat them? And boom, now we got a bunch of city girls. It's fair to add our relationship with sexuality is screwed up on both sides. And sex is a huge part of relationships. This is some statistics from a child abuse website. 1 in 5 girls will be a victim of sexual abuse in their lifetime. I want you to sit with that, ladies and gentlemen. 1 in 5 girls will be a victim of sexual abuse in their lifetime. A child who is the victim of prolonged sexual abuse usually develops low self-esteem, feelings of worthlessness, and an abnormal view of sex. This is what is wrong with 1 of 5 of our damn relationships if we want to take it back to childhood trauma.
Say that.
Now, let's look at all the children being found dead right now, being neglected, being all these things that it just turns, it's like people don't even love kids no more. If you look at that, 95% of the time where the murderer was a male, sexual assault was also involved, whether it was before or after the death. We cannot pretend like this doesn't play a part in our relationships, our screwed up sexuality. Men aren't usually allowed to, say, work in daycare or change diapers. Why? Because we inherently don't trust them because of the history that you've shown us. You will let a female stranger change your child before some of you will let a man that you know. Why? Because males have proven throughout history that a large number of y'all cannot be trusted. And without security, you're not even going to get a woman to be good to you for real. She's going to be good to you however far she can throw you. Now let's talk about the R. Kelly effect.
Ooh.
I'm gonna order me a gavel off of Amazon. I be needing to get the energy out. The era of grown men picking up high school girls from school. We can't pretend like this don't play into that ruined a lot of women.
Yeah.
Because they went into looking for a lifestyle that was not accessible for their own age. And when they couldn't get it, they halfway felt slighted. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you didn't want you 99% of the time, these grown men knew better um, that got to pursue these younger people. But this plays into the relationship dynamic in our community because there is so much sexual deviancy. As the leaders and heads, as men, y'all be wanting to lead everything but sexual responsibility. Yes, whether you get some or not is up to the woman. But to me, that's a cop out that I hear over and over because how you approach the entire sexual act should be led with responsibility and righteousness if you want us to listen to y'all for everything else. But it also applies to sexual responsibility. When it comes to that, it's telling women be fully clothed, keep your clothes on, and stop enticing men. It's never saying stop screwing, liking, hearting, and cheating with the same women you degrade.
Yo, that right there is, it's gotten to the point now, and call it me getting old or anything like that. I hate seeing, like, anytime I don't want to see a cooking video and you shaking your ass in the
It's
fucking
because we
kitchen.
old. It's because we old.
Yeah.
It's starting to get on my
I'm
nerves
about to
too.
say I don't want to see that every day. I don't want to see where like everything is just super hypersexualized. And to speak the one thing that you were speaking on, it's like we want to put men in, like, we can't, we males are responsible for the pieces that we're responsible of when it comes to like how we want women to look and how we speak on those things, and how, but women got to start tearing women down too, because like it's almost a standard that you got to get a BBL or get your titties
But
lifted,
when we
anything
do,
like that.
here's the thing: when we try to have these real conversations in spaces with other women, you are either a hater or, and this is what's caused a lot of the older generation to just shut down and not even
Hmm.
engage. Um, they believe every older woman is a hater, even though a lot of us look better than them. They also feel as though because we're old, we don't care about being desirable anymore. When at the end of the day, it's not that. I don't need the whole entire street to
Right,
desire me. I'm
right,
40 years old.
right,
You know what
right,
I'm
right,
saying?
right, right.
I don't know if you saw recently, the young generation has dragged Felicia Rashad for what she said
I
about.
did see
I'm
that.
like,
Yeah.
you niggas didn't grow up watching Cosby Show.
She was the
Your
baddest
parents,
thing on the
your
TV.
parents have failed you
What?
because
Yes,
this
yes,
is a
yes.
queen and an icon of black community, and y'all
Mhm.
sitting up here calling her this and that and the third, um all because she simply said, don't no man want to see his woman dressed like that. And where's the lie? If you are just some girl, then of course he don't care how you dress. Or if you're just something scrolling his timeline that he don't got to be responsible for at
Right.
the end of the day, no one cares. These guys that you may be on their arm or you may be out in public, if you got your whole entire butt out, you got on a see-through outfit, you got on pasties, he has convinced you to believe that you are his girl. He don't really care about you.
And listen, that right there is something I was just getting ready to say that. Like, any, like, it's a whole lot of dudes out here like, I just ain't self-conscious. I ain't worried about nothing like that. I ain't worried about my girl going out here. I don't care what she wearing, all this and all that. I ain't worried about that.
I get that to a degree, but
It's a very, very small degree though. Cause my thing is like you said, I'm almost 40. We're not going like, you can go and be sexy and not show everything to the world.
and the stuff
You could be,
nowadays is
it's,
beyond.
you
It's not even sexy.
like,
It's
y'all
trash.
talk like, women are always saying, well, men don't like lingerie no more. Men don't like when women get dressed up in the bedroom no more. It's something that we see every fucking day. It ain't nothing that's desirable anymore
It's
because
on
like
your news
it's on my
feed.
news feed. I'm pretty sure that I done seen a video with you like that. With you like
It's
that.
and it's crazy because because what used to be exclusive, and I blame women, they saw all the attention that whores was getting with none of the responsibility. The wife and mom at home was the one staying up all night waiting for the man. Got to keep the house clean. Got to pay half the bills. Got to do all of this. The side chick get something dropped off in her drawers and ain't got to talk to this mug again till she.
Mm.
That's what made women start chasing their whole culture too, in my opinion, too, because it looked like to them that the hoes had it easy, and then a marriage and a home started to slowly not become a flex no more.
And if you think about this right here, you might have think that they had it easy, but I'm gonna tell you how difficult it is for them. It's like they might be getting everything like that, but nobody's looking at them the way as far as like I want to be in a relationship with this woman.
That's
She might,
true, but where women don't care no more is the relationships ain't valued.
and
It's still 1,000 side chicks, 1,000 miles an hour. So now that devalues wanting to be chosen.
and this the thing, like this right here is what I was trying to speak to is like when the side chick gets tired, when she gets tired and she's like, okay, like I don't want to do this anymore. Like I got more value than this and everything like that. You've been ran down so much that nobody wants to see you in that light. And you got it in you. It's in there. Like it was in there. It was in you the whole time. Because it's just in a woman to actually be a nurturer. It's in
Most women.
Most.
There are anomalies. I've
It's
seen it.
And most women, like you had that in you to actually to be with one person. You have it in you, but it's like you didn't gave it to 100 people. It's like when I don't know, I can't remember my boy name, but he was like, "It's messed up as it is. If you stick, if I stick my finger in this water, it's okay for me to drink it. It's my finger. But if I know that I done stuck my finger in it, another person that stuck their finger in it, two more
17
pairs.
more people stuck their
They
finger.
done stuck their they done stuck their finger in this cup. I'm not drinking out this cup.
Hey, I
I'm not
wouldn't-
doing that. So you got to think about it. Like if I didn't seen you with my homeboy, with my uncle, with my
Wow.
with little dude down the street, if I didn't seen you with all of that, like I'm gonna be on my P's and Q's, or like I'm gonna be very, very still. I'm gonna be very, very stagnant as far as like, okay, can I take it there with her?
Mhm.
So you might have it in you, and you might show me some of those characters. You might show me some of those traits, but it's hard for me to get the visual out of my head of what I've seen you do, what I've
Facts.
seen you do. You know what I'm saying? So like that's a big thing, and I want to speak. I want to speak on when you said about when you were talking about the R. Kelly effect. So
I'm
many.
gonna copyright that. Don't steal my stuff.
So many times we don't want to talk about that from the other side. Cause there's some women out here that's nasty as hell too, and they be preying on these little boys too. Trust me, I know. When
But
I
like
was
I
17,
said before, y'all was kind of not allowed. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
space that people give molested girls, they don't give molested boys.
and it's sad. It's sad. It's very, very sad. Because when I was 17 years old, I'm still in high school. 17 years old. One of my cousin's best friends was 24, and she's like, we done did all the actions, and she was like, "How old are you?"
After.
After, how old are you? I'm 17. I thought, yeah, you thought that. You thought that. But no, that's not no, I'm only 17 years old. I haven't even graduated from high school yet. But do you think that stopped her from coming to pick me up on the weekends? It didn't. When I was 18 years old, the lady I was dealing with was 14. Me and her son were in the same class.
Tell us you wanted a PlayStation without telling us you wanted a PlayStation.
And people will look at it like, oh, he had mama issues, or like because we look at girls the same way. Well, they got daddy issues. Well, he got mama issues. My mama ain't never left me. My mama was always with me.
Right.
It's just that when it's presented, it's the same way that it's presented to young girls. It's presented to young males the exact same way. Whenever this woman left on the weekends to go to Greensboro to go see her kids and everything like that, I knew I was gonna have everything that I needed. My weekend was taken care of. My pockets was good. I didn't have to worry about no ride. Didn't have no car at all. But I didn't have to worry about no ride. And people say, "How you not have to worry?" Because I had my pocket straight and I had gas money to go wherever I wanted to go. gas money, gas, and all that,
Facts.
whatever I needed. So it's like we gotta actually start opening up some of these spaces for us to talk about it, for talk about things from both sides and both and how we're all affected by these
And
things.
how we've all been hurt. It's not just women.
Right, right, right. Because we go through a like men go through a lot because we don't want to open our mouths about stuff. We don't want to open our mouths about because as soon as we say, "Well, I got a girl that's at the house and she be whooping my ass," we soft.
Yeah.
You a bitch.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I don't even like using that word, but that's what they're.
That's what
Man,
they will say.
you a bitch, bro. Like you really let this woman. You really let this woman like put her hands on you. You let this woman do this to you, and we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about those issues. We don't like it's frowned upon for us to actually speak about these things of how we are hurt in relationships.
And knowing ourselves and loving ourselves so that we can choose and align for the best. So often we're going after the flesh, or we're going after what people tell us. Oh, girl, he got a good job, or oh, this is that and the third. You know, going after who are you and what do you really want? Yes, this man makes six figures. What if he is dull, boring, and dry, and y'all got nothing in common and none of the same morals?
Right.
Them six figures ain't gonna last you but so long. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? What if this woman is right here? She might be gorgeous. She might can cook. She might got a big butt. All the things you like.
But she can't spell herself out a wet paper
But
bag.
attitude terrible. At the
Yeah.
drop of a hat, is
Right.
this the woman you want raising your kids?
No way.
Because her butt is fat.
No way.
You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
got to begin to align. I feel like there are a lot of men that's out here saying women ain't this. Modern women, modern women. There's a lot of men out here saying, vice versa. Men and women are basically talking junk about each other. When the good men or the good women are out there, they're not aligning.
That's it. That's
And the
it.
smut think they deserve good men, and the smut men think they deserve good women. And we letting them have each other.
And like I want to just as and I don't know if this right. It's the place for it, and I just want to talk about healthy black relationships. Dr. Umar said this, and it's so much truth to it, and I hate that I hate that it's truth to it. What he said was he was like a white woman would take a black man wherever he's at.
Mm-hmm.
He don't gotta have anything. All he gotta have is an aspiration and a stick of bubble gum, and she would look at that and say, I can turn that into something."
Mm-hmm.
And so many times, a black woman or black women like, and it's vice versa. I just want to put it on just women because black men do this sometimes too. But like we will look at they black women will look at a situation. It's got to be ready made. It has to be already cooked. Like without the toothpick has to be able to go in and come out of the cake already. In order for them to say, okay, this is something that I can invest in. And then we get mad when we lose when we lose that good person or we lose that good man or that good woman to another society. And it's like, what the fuck happened or what actually went on? Like you didn't value me. This person saw the little bit that I had, and actually they didn't look at what I had. They looked at the value of the person. I know what I got in me. It's just that I need help getting it out, and I want to speak to that because Pretty Witty and Why she actually said black men being coddled is the reason why women have to take the masculine role. A little bit of truth to it, but it ain't like everything that's entailed in that is not okay.
That's true because that was not every family.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'll say this right here, KB. She then spoke to the situation of the black fathers not being in the household. Who else was going to protect the black boy? Who was it going to be? Other than his mom, other than his sisters, other than his aunts, if his dad won't going to be there. Is it's not all the way okay that we get to these points where we're like we feel like we depend on a woman or like we look to a woman for everything. It's just how we were raised. And it's not a good thing that we're like that, but is you got to be able to take that too if you know what the situation is. If you know why if you know all the linings up to why this man is this way. You have to have some type of acceptance into the fact that look, I got to deal with this person in a totally different way than I've ever dealt with anybody else, because I know that he was one of those ones that was caught up and taken care of by his mama and by his sisters and everything. I got to break, like, not even breaking him out, break him out of this right here. It just show him something different, that, okay, I can be a woman in your life, but I'm not your mom.
Yes.
I'm not your
There
sister.
you go.
I'm not your aunt. And I spoke on that. I spoke on that right there too. Black men, stop looking for your mama and go out here and find your partner.
Mm,
It's okay to look for traits, but that woman will never fill the role of your mom. And if you're looking for that, then don't fucking date.
for
It's
real.
not fair to the person you're pursuing if you're doing that, because you are actually putting a standard on this person that they will never get to. I don't. If any black man that loves their mama the way that I loved mine, you will never be sure. You will never be her. I'm pretty sure if you had a son, KB, the way you treat your girls, he will look at you. You will never be my mama.
Mhm.
She's to a different standard. She holds a weight that you will never be able to pick up. So you cannot put that on somebody that you're actually trying to build a life with, because she's never gonna be right. She's never gonna be okay for you, because you're putting something on her that she can't do.
And the flip side of that is true too. Just like your mother in all her greatness, and you can't expect that from another woman. When people had a not so great mama or a not so great daddy, you are low key trying to punish the woman that you come in contact with because of all the things your mama was not. Or you may even try to overburden her beyond what is possible for her to do because you
Mhm.
want her to be this shining example to make up for the things that you was missing. You
Mhm.
want this man to be a knight in shining armor to make up for the things that your daddy didn't do when he's literally already doing the best he can. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? So I feel
Exactly.
like even when your example was negative, you still a lot of times end up putting it on the other person because you want them to make up for that negativity,
Hmm.
which ain't possible.
It's not. It's not possible. Like, us, as I can speak from the black male perspective, like, us not like we had to look for validation. We had to look from validation from males, from most of the time from outside of our household.
Mm,
So whatever we got that validation from, like, that right there is the traits, or that was the characteristics that we took on. So,
okay.
like, if we got the acceptance from the homeboys on the street, if our homeboys in the streets was out here fucking on girls and that's all they was doing, they weren't trying to be in no relationships or anything. We took on those characteristics. So it's like we were talking about last week, a whole bunch of not shit motherfuckers making some more not shit motherfuckers.
Mhm.
But, like, if you went out here, you found somebody who had structure. You found somebody who had a wife at home and they was actually treating their wife right. You ain't never hear about them being out here in the streets doing this and doing that. They was taking care of their home. Like, their kids were actually their kids were respectful human beings. It's like, okay, I want to be like, I want what he got. Like, I will big this man up for the rest of my life. His name is Asante Malone. I think Sante is like either 35 or 36 now. I met him in 2020, like right after like everything was going on with the pandemic. And when I say a beautiful human being,
Mm.
a beautiful father, the model of what a man should be, and he's younger than me.
Wow.
Like, he's that. This man got 9 kids,
Woo!
all by the same woman.
God bless his soul. And God bless his wife as well. 9 kids is wow.
All by the same woman. This man told me, like, when you go into his house, you can see the structure as soon as you walk into it. No shoes on.
I love it.
Kids are in their rooms either studying, or like when they have an interaction time, like, it's enough of them and they don't need anybody else.
For real.
He told me, he said, Jason, when my kids leave my home, he was like, they can be whoever it is that they want to be, who they want to be. I will never tell them that they can't do that. But while they're here, they will know who God is. They will know that education is important,
Mm.
and they will also know how to defend themselves. He is a Budo instructor.
Mhm.
All of his kids know the martial arts.
Oh, that's dope.
Like, when I say, if you want to learn how to be who you need to be for your woman, hit my dog.
Yeah.
Hit my dog. And it's like, we as men, we do not find those examples, or like when we do find those examples, it's like we try to pull like all try to put as much negativity into it. It's like, well, I know he done did this, I know he was this person at some point,
Like they did
or he
Felicia
done
Rashad. They was like, well, she's been divorced 3 times. So don't be telling me about what a man wants.
oh my, hey, listen.
Meanwhile, the people talking probably never been married.
And that's it. Like you can't dictate, or you can't tell like how a relationship ended because you don't know what was inside of that.
You don't know who left who.
You don't.
Why you judging her divorce?
You and like I had one. It was one girl that I was dealing with. She knew every single thing that I didn't want to. Like, this is not a relationship. This is just this is what our situation is. I need your help. You need my help. If we smash and mess around in the midst of this right here, that's just what it is.
Okay.
If your feelings start to get involved, you have to let me know.
Wave the white flag.
You got to, because if you don't, I'm thinking that our situation is the exact same way that it has been. When I started talking to someone else and she found out about that, oh, that motherfucker ain't shit. He just good for fucking you, and he ain't gonna do this and he ain't gonna do that. But this more didn't have to pay no bills.
Wow.
She didn't have to leave out. She didn't have to leave out the crib. The only time that she really had to do something is like when I had just lost my job and I got took all my 401k out. Just so I could make sure, because I'm a felon. It takes me a little bit longer if I lose a job to find another one. So I had to take all of this money out. The only time that she had to do anything is when that 401k money ran out. But other than that, this girl didn't have to do for nothing. But you not gonna make me out to be the bad guy in this situation if I told you from the get-go what it was.
There's a level of ungratefulness that I'm hearing also in a lot of women when they don't have to pay the bills. So I've heard over and over and over from many different men, black, white, everything. They did what they thought they were supposed to do. They did pay all the bills. They took care of all of that, but then they couldn't even also always get meat food cooked. They couldn't even also always get basic respect, and it felt that the things they felt they were asking was basic.
Right.
Can you speak a little bit on how can you decipher between a grateful woman that you can give a life like that and a woman that's looking for something easy to do? And if I got to hunch this man for the rest of my life to get it, it's just another form of prostitution. Can we talk about prostitute wives? Some of y'all accepted that ring so you could have a cushy life. It ain't had nothing to do with love. It ain't had nothing to do with helping that man build his life. He was the higher bidder than them guys over there.
I can say this. I've been in that situation before where like I did everything. You know what I'm saying? It was times where I had to come home and I had to cook. Times where I had to come home and wash clothes and everything like that. But I done work my ass off all day.
Right.
And I ain't got nothing done when I get home. So what happened with that situation was I told her, I'm like, this don't feel like home to me. It don't. So I don't need to be here. Like I don't want to be here. But even with that being said, when I left, I still was paying bills. I still was helping her out and everything like that, because some people you just know that okay, they have been like this, right? This person has never had somebody like me. They don't know how to deal with me. They don't know how to handle me. They don't know how to care for me. They don't know how to nurture me because they're so used to these whack ass motherfuckers that they've been dealing with all the time. So it has to be a level of balance as far as like we know who we're dealing with, and like you have to teach sometimes you have to teach somebody how to love you or how to treat you. And this is what the beautiful thing about that situation. Once me and her split up, she went through some shit for about a year, and she hit me up. She was like,
I'm sorry.
I should have like if I had known it was gonna be like this right here, I would have did things different. I would have made sure that you were taken care of. Sometimes you have to leave, and this right here is what I feel like is where the value comes in, and like how I take value in somebody who I can feel like I can do everything for. Just when I come home, just have something done. I ain't saying you gotta cook no full course meal every day. I ain't saying that you gotta have all the clothes washed and they just might can be washed. Us folding it can be something that we did together. You know what I'm saying?
Statistics show that couples who split everything, not even just the bills,
Mm-hmm.
split housework, split child rearing, have more sex than other couples that don't.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not giving you no dick if you not washing no dishes. How my boy Desi said, no dick. You not like it has to be some type of balance somewhere. Like my last relationship, I love that woman to death. I do. Age had a whole lot to do with our situation too. I'm not gonna get too deep in there, but I will say that our age, like it was a big gap in between our age. Like I didn't see it at the beginning because like she didn't give me the she didn't give me that she was that young. You know, she didn't
Mm-hmm.
give me that she was in her early 20s. She didn't give me that. So, but once we got in the same house together, she gave me all of that. You know what I'm
It was
saying?
giving hot toddy.
It gave me all of that as far as like, okay, I know I got somebody who's he gonna get up and bust his ass every day to make sure his house taken care of. So I know he gonna take care of me too. But my thing is she had a talent. And I'm like, you can get rich off of this talent. So when I come home, just have something in your talent done. It ain't got to be the
Dope.
house.
That's so dope.
It ain't got to be in the house no more. We can get that shit. We can get that shit taken care of. We can get that situated. But just work on your talent. If you work on your talent, that right there can take us further than anything. But if you're not doing that, I'm not seeing no type of commitment or no type of stability to saying, okay, I got your back. So when it got to a point where it's like, I felt like you was gonna tell me to leave. If you were doing the things that you were supposed to be doing, or the things that I had just asked you to do, you would
Mhm.
have no type of thought about me saying you were going anywhere. So
Right.
you have to take what? Accountability.
Accountability.
I feel you on that, okay, KB. I think we need to have a second dose of this right here
And
this
we
week.
can
What you
bring
think?
somebody on, like maybe one other male, one other female,
I'm about to
and
say.
chop it up.
So I
Come
say.
from some different directions, maybe married,
mm,
unmarried, kids, no kids.
So I say this: if you're watching this show and you want to be a guest on the show next week, I'm about to say we're gonna do a part two of accountability relationships. So if you're watching the show and you want to be a guest on the show next week, just hit us up. Like I said, run them comments up, run the views up, run the comments up.
That's y'all homework. Let us know if you want to appear in the part 2 of relationship accountability.
And we got y'all, man. But like we hear that bell ringing, it's about that time for us to go ahead and shut this thing down. It's your host, A Rod Go Hard, and this is
KB,
and we'll holler at y'all next week. Classmates Podcast.
peace.